This is a moment of reaffirmation of how the Venezuelan people wants to defend its democracy, that it's being at risk for so many years because, for the simple fact that the far right and also their allies in the US and the allies of the United States in the Western Hemisphere do not want to listen to the people's voice, do not want to defend the country. They do not want to develop the country. They only want to take advantage of the resources of the country, which are greatly massive and important for the region and the world, because Venezuela has the greatest reservoir of oil in the planet. And this is not this is not a simple fact. There are very clear intentions behind all the attempts that have been carried out by the extreme right wing, with the complicity of many countries, also with governments from the very far extremist, far right wing. And this is a moment in which Venezuela is saying no to these intentions, is saying no to the attempts to destabilize the economic sector, to destabilize the social life of Venezuelans, who are also very joyful people, who are amicable people. And in spite of the economic warfare that the country is going through, numbers speak volumes, because Venezuela has managed to grow economically for the past years in spite of the sanctions that are being imposed to the country, because Venezuela is not alone, and also because Venezuela has a resilience that is shown, it is translated into social and community projects that are being used in a large scale, for example, for the self-sufficiency of agriculture, for the development of agriculture in the country to become a sustainable country that can provide their own products to provide to the people. And this is only possible because there are also very much initiatives in the communes that are being multiplied along the country. And this is a moment precisely for this purpose, to defend what Venezuela has achieved in spite of all the obstacles that it's been facing for many years, in spite of the violence that has been promoted by the far right wing, led by several people with different names but same idea of taking advantage of the resources of Venezuela, of taking advantage of the resources that should be destined for the people and for the economic growth of the country, because it has the capacity to do so, but has so many sanctions imposed that is a little bit harder that for other people, for other countries in the world to achieve an economic stability. But in spite of all this, Venezuela has been able to do so, has been able to reach a moment in which there are numbers that prove that Venezuela is reaching its own development in its very own ways, and also is being respected worldwide. And we could see that during the tour that President Nicolás Maduro offered to Russia, and how he was received as the president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. And he received all the honors and also all the gratitude of the Russian people and all those who attended to this event that in this occasion marked the 80th anniversary of the great victory against fascism and Nazism by the Soviet Union in 1945. So we could see this. This means that Venezuela is not alone, and this visit to Russia is a proof of it, because President Nicolás Maduro held bilateral meetings with several leaders worldwide, and he's always being received with such a gratitude and respect. And there was a common idea in all these bilateral meetings and in this moment. And it was that Venezuela is very respected because it is a dignified nation that is facing the most atrocious economic war ever experienced, perhaps only compared to the struggle that Cuba is having towards because of the economic sanctions also imposed by the U.S. and the hostilities imposed to that island nation. But Venezuela is suffering deeply these economic sanctions, but also is proving its resilience, its ways to move on and to sort off all these obstacles that have been imposed, and also how every electoral process in the country and every crucial political moment in the country has been widely seen by the whole world, that is paying such an attention that is not received in other nations, in other electoral process, in other countries around the world. It is Venezuela because Venezuela represents this, represents a change, represents a society that is building from the inside to the outside, that is building based on the respect, also based on the initiatives that the communes are promoting alongside the people. The communes are basically the base of the communities, the base of the country, and this could be dangerous for many of those leaders of the far right that are trying to impose an economic order in the world that is the opposite of this. So, as we mentioned, this is a crucial moment for Venezuelans. This is a crucial moment that is proving that Venezuelans are willing to keep fighting for their sovereignty, to keep fighting for their migrants abroad and for their safe return of all of those who are suffering the consequences of a xenophobic campaign promoted by the leader of the United States. Venezuelans are united today because of this, because of what the government has been representing for them for the past years. A government that has been representing resilience in spite of the obstacles, has been showing that everyone matters, that the most vulnerable are listened, that those, for example, those families that are suffering the consequences of this economic blockade and hardship imposed on the country and have had to take the hard decision to migrate, and now are facing the consequences of this xenophobic campaign, and that is violating the migrants' rights, and also the people is precisely seeing how the government has been providing all its support for their safe and dignified return to the country.